Hello and welcome back to Jacqueline Marie's Art. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about the friends with benefits trap. Are you somebody who is dealing with the friends with benefits situation, or are you somebody that was in the friends with benefits situation? Um, what is friends with benefits? Well, from what I know, it's when two people have a sexual relationship, but there's no commitment. They just meet up when they want to have sex and they consider themselves friends. But what I've observed is that they're usually not friends, and depending on how the pendulum swings, the woman does not benefit from this at all. I mean, I'm sure there's some scenarios where, probably she gets gifts or depending uh on this type of setup that they have. But generally speaking, from my observation, if the woman falls for the guy, because remember, sex is a bonding tool, it's not just some casual thing like we think, she will not be benefiting because that means that he has the upper hand and he will just use the situation for his own benefit. So this can probably also be lumped in with the ones that they call a booty call. Okay, do you see how all of these sound derogatory? Like they just don't sound uplifting. A booty call. Your very precious, extraordinarily valuable thing. It's on call. So, when they say someone is a call girl, they consider her, a bad girl. But at least with a call girl, she's requiring something for her time. The booty calls are usually nothing in it for you. All right, it's just a waste of your time. And keep in mind that you could end up falling for the person that you are sleeping with, because sex is a bonding tool. So if you are in the friends with benefits slash booty call situation, there is a way out of this. How, you say? You have to stop having sex with the person, with the guy. I know this is easier said than done. I'm well aware of this because of its ultra bonding effects that sex has. That's why sex is so incredible in marriage, because it bonds you together. That's why when you're married, they usually say, consider you one entity. You become one with the person. This is the same thing when you're with a person who is a night lady, or the same thing when you're with a booty call, or the same thing when you're with the what's the other one, the friends with benefits. Yeah, you become one with the person. So no matter what the scenario, you don't like the person, you don't care about the person, you're still one with that person. You understand? So how do you get out of that? You have to refrain from having sex. If you have developed feelings for your booty call guy, or the guy who calls you for your booty, or the guy who you're his friends for his benefit, the best way to do it is to just not have sex with them again. If you have feelings for these people, it is going to hurt, because that's the whole design of this thing. If it's not done right, you will cause yourself a lot of emotional trauma. But it's okay. You cut your losses and you stop, because this person does not value you or care about you or have any good intentions towards you. Remember, we'll always say that the human heart is desperately wicked. And if men nowadays get into the habit of using you for your valuables and you're hooked on them in that way, they are going to continue to do so while treating your valuable as worthless. What is your valuable? That precious thing you have between your legs, that precious sex. All right? So you don't want to fall into that trap. And if you're in that trap, just close that thing back up. All right? Don't give it away another day. Don't. Sometimes they put you on some sort of horrible schedule, because you'll come running whenever they call, or they could come over whenever to your place whenever they call. So they already know that you're hooked and they're smug and arrogant about it. So, oh, I'll see her in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever, or tonight, or, whatever the scenario may be. And they sleep with you again and they hook you. And like on a fish hook, there's always free food. But you notice how the fish does not benefit? The fish is the one that loses. So this is the same thing. You're right. They keep you on that fish hook and you're not benefiting anything, meaning they have no intentions to give you anything, to do anything for you, to upgrade you to anything significant in their life. You're looked at as just that. And there's others, and there's probably someone that they actually possibly care about. Maybe a wife, possibly, or a live-in girlfriend, because that's more their speed, a live-in girlfriend. So you are just somebody that they are using. Use. Yeah, that's another horrible word. Use. So you understand, you want to go into relationships where you get something for your time, something of equal value, because that's how men do it. Whenever they are with us, they don't give us anything unless they are getting something in return. And if they give something once, don't expect it too much after that, because they're going to eventually put their foot down and make sure that they get something in return. You have to do the same thing. You cannot keep going on, giving away. And whatever you have is way more valuable than the little trinkets that they have. It's just that you don't know your value. And they like it that way, actually. They know that you don't know, and they love it. That nobody's ever going to tell you. Maybe they don't know either. You know, that you're giving away something extraordinarily valuable for nothing, absolutely nothing. What are you getting in return? Disrespect, emotional abuse. On some far out cases, it could be physical abuse. Talked down to, being stood up, calling to see you at their whim. Dropping out of sight if you annoy them too much. Ghosting is another term that they use. Yeah, just vanishing like you never meant anything. So this is what you are ultimately getting for your valuables. You understand? So you see how this is no good for you. None of these scenarios are any good for you. All right? So what you have to do, look in the mirror. Look at the person in the mirror and tell yourself how amazing you are and how valuable you are. The Lord says that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. This is what's in the Bible. So remember that. Say, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. What you carry between your leg as an astronomical price on it. And this is I'm not just here to try to gas women up or hype women up. This is actually a fact. It's not a fact according to men because they're used to getting it so easy, but I'm not concerned about what they think. The Lord Jesus, this is the only man's opinion. It actually matters because he has the final say and the final judgment on anything in this planet. Nobody goes over their heads. And he has already declared that it carries astronomical value. But somewhere in the mix, you were fooled and tricked to not knowing its value. So you're able to give it away in droves to all sorts of worthless people that have no business going anywhere near that thing for absolutely nothing. And keep in mind, if the man has certain curses attached to him, it could transfer over to you. So, and as along with a bunch of host of emotional traumatic experiences, because each notch on your thing from a man is another spirit of a different man that you're putting into yourself. So when you finally do get married to your actual husband, if you are fortunate enough to get married, you will be fractured. You can become fractured and you might not be able to function the correct way in the marriage. How does this usually manifest itself? You're angry, belligerent, argumentative, and you hate men. So This is not just coming out of nowhere. This is not just to say, oh, she's a bitch. It's to say that all those spirits that you've taken in through this illicit sexual act, which is a high level a form of self destruction, that you are no longer really yourself. And all those spirits are going to rage against your husband's spirits because they were there first. So don't open up yourself to anybody to use you for their own selfish, selfish call girl sort of thing. A free call girl sort of thing. You understand? Booty call, friends with benefits. Listen to all these terms. There are no benefits in this for you. Really and truly, I would say there is no benefits in sex out of marriage at all. That's just my take on the whole thing. Look, if you had sex with a guy and you were able to get rich from the whole thing, then I could understand. But I'm just talking generally speaking, all right? It really isn't, because it's set up against you, all right, to destroy you mentally, emotionally, physically. Your self-esteem, your health could suffer, your children could suffer and will suffer. You understand? So this is really, really a force against you. You are working against your own self when you engage in these type of activities. The Bible already tells you that man or woman, because this is a gender neutral thing, they get affected too, just as much. The lie about men could sleep with as much people as they want and be unaffected is a lie from the pits of hell. Jesus never said that anywhere. God has never said that. He told everyone to flee from this thing. Listen to the word flee. Run away, avoid at all cost. Because when you commit this crime against oneself, you are hurting yourself. All right? You are hurting your children if they're not here yet. This is a crime and assault on yourself. Nobody really means to assault themselves, but that's exactly what you are doing with this kind of behavior. How do you know? Look at how belligerent you are, how hateful you are of the opposite sex, how miserable you feel when you walk down the streets. You're filled with rage, you're depressed, you're crying. I hate women, I'm just going for self. This is what's bred this ultra selfish behavior from all these men. This hateful, selfish behavior, because most men nowadays completely hate women. They're attracted to them because they need sex from them, but they can't stand them. They will do nothing for them. So this is where all this is coming from. You understand? They would rather they will get all the sex that they can out of you, but when it comes to giving you $1, it will never happen. It will go straight to their friends. So do you see how degrading all this is? How derogatory, how abusive this is to yourself? Self-abuse. So please don't break your own heart anymore, because this is all set up for heartbreak. Do not destroy your emotional state of mind anymore. You will just not be yourself anymore. All right? So stay away from degeneracy and self-destruction and your own self-inflicted wounds. All right? You will be so much happier if you avoid this kind of lifestyle. You can't lose. This goes for man or woman, by the way. You can't lose, young lady, anybody at any stage. You will not lose. This is a win when you stay away from this stuff. All right? Nobody could trap you into a manipulative situation where you're just being taken advantage of, because your emotions are now involved. Your soul is now involved. All right? So that's all I have to say on this for now, and I hope that you guys get something out of this, because this is a very serious situation that really needs addressing. All this stuff has to come to an end. It has to stop. It has to come to a screeching halt, because it is causing so much trouble and it's so traumatizing to so many people. And it's one of the main causes of mental illness around the world. All right? So talk to you soon, and thank you for tuning in. See you later. Bye.